So I'm here with my 2001 Lightning. I'm doing some other mods, transmission work at the time. So I have the engine or transmission out right now, drive shafts out, and I bought this Stifflers kit on Black Friday. And if I look, I don't know if I have a receipt sitting around, but anyway, it was discounted. I was happy, so I bought it. And basically, it has these axle brackets. These go and like mount on the bottom side of the axle, and they use 2 new bolts and 1 U-bolt to mount up. And then this rail, this bracket goes like on the frame rail. And I don't really know what all is involved as far as drilling and whatnot yet. I kind of just started, but I really couldn't find anything. They have a couple pictures on their site and stuff, but nothing super good. So, this is a little better shot. Comes with like a bunch of good hardware and stuff, whatever, the stuff you need. So there's the rods, and then the brackets were in here. So I actually put up one of the brackets already. You can see that there. So basically the instructions are, currently, a stock truck would have 2 U-bolts right there. And you take the inside one off and get that undone. Then the next thing is I'm a bad camera person here, but you undo this brake line from this little clip, pull that out, gives you a little bit of room. Then you take this U-bolt and you go over the top, put that in, kind of snug those up real quick. And there is a little square washer under there. And then same over here, square washer. And then up top, square washer on both of those guys. And so you tighten that up so it's even, and then it's supposed to be straight with the rear axle of the truck. And if you do, they say measure from this plate to this plate, but I don't know, I'm kind of lazy, so I just looked at the threads. If you can look and visually see, the threads are even, so it's straight. So I did that, and then here's a stock side. That would be an example of one that's not been touched at all. So you can see, first step on this side is going to be to remove that U-bolt, remove that, and then again brake line and same deal to put these brackets on. So that's the first step, and I'll kind of try and hopefully show a little bit of detail, because there really wasn't a whole lot online. These 2 holes are going to be where the long bar bolts through with the little Heim joint, Johnny joint, whatever they are, and I'm not sure what exactly they're called, and I don't know, that's just how it works. So I assume that it'll use maybe one of those holes or something, or maybe it won't. I have no real idea how it goes, so we're just gonna wing it and see how it turns out. It says 2 to 3 hours installation, so can't be too bad. So the only other thing that I have left to do is right there, kind of like tucked back in here. They say you can take and weld a piece of metal to the axle tube or to the housing, and that'll prevent it from slipping even more. And so I kind of, with the spare in here, it's kind of tough to get up in there. So I think I'm actually going to leave this all undone, and then not undone, but leave the welded part out, and then at the very end, I think I'm going to raise the truck and then do that. I think that'll work easier, because they say the installation is easier when it's on the ground. I assume that's because it keeps the suspension, neutral and just kind of where it likes to be. But once I get everything settled, I can just undo one of the long bars and lift it on the actual 2-post lift here, and then actually do clean this all up. Because you see, I tried to get something in here, but it just doesn't really do anything to clean it up. So it might be, I don't know, it might be as easy as Scotch-Brite or something. We'll just see what goes there. So, among other things that I have to do, this is one of them. So, we'll see how it goes. So I'm back under the truck. You can see that's the back rear axle. I got my two brackets mounted now. Looking good, looking straight. You can see they're lined up with each other. So the next thing I gotta do is get this bracket mounted up in here. So according to the instructions, basically what you do is you put this bolt in and this bolt in, both with double washers. And when you do that and you kind of just get them pretty tight, they end up overshadowing kind of this hole right here. And what was there was a like a harness barb for, it looked like that. One of those was poking out. You can see that's the harness for the tail lights, I assume, and the rest of it is in the inside of the frame rail. So what I did is that was going through that kind of rusty looking hole, so I just nipped that off with the side cutters and pushed the harness through there. You can see it kind of actually in through there. And then get it out of the way, because what you do is then I took a transfer punch, and if you don't know what a transfer punch, just look it up, Google them, they're pretty cheap. Get a transfer punch that fits that hole, so when you, rather than scribing it, because, I don't know, scribing is kind of not the best way here, so when this is up here, it's bolted up there. That larger hole obviously wasn't there, so I just did my transfer punch, which is the center, and drilled it out, so now I'll have that all line up. So the front hole is good. This one is going to work, and that one's going to work. So there's 4 holes. It took technically one hole drilled there, but it was super easy. I was like kind of worried that going through a frame rail was going to be tough, but with a good drill bit, it goes right through. And then I actually didn't have a 9/16 drill bit, so I ended up just using a uni bit, or like a step drill, some people would call it, and made it a little bigger, and it's good to go. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts up, and then this should be, this bracket should be set and ready to go, and I'm going to do that for the other side. So not really hard at all. So I'm just a little further here, and basically one other thing I kind of not overlooked, but just didn't realize getting into the instructions is that, so that's one of the original holes. It's a factory hole. It's already the right size. The one right here, I think it's this one, I don't remember, I think it's that one, is already the right size. Yeah, it's this one right here. Then this other one, you do have to drill, sorry, right there. You do actually have to drill that one out to 9/16, and then this one is the one you just kind of drill fresh. So anyway, just that little change right there is that one has to be made just a little bit bigger, but again with the step drill, let's see here, makes it real easy if it focuses. So that's kind of a nice tool to have and for this situation, so easy stuff. I'm up on the lift now to get a little better view. It was just, I know in the instructions it says to do this on the ground, but it kind of sucks. So I don't see any reason why you can't put all the bracketry up on the lift. So here we are. One's in. That one's all bolted up. See if I can get a little different angle here. So this is the outside of the frame rail. She's looking good. So I actually, I could have changed how I did this. Whoa, that was a really bad shot. I could have changed that. I could have had the nuts on the outside here, but I kind of just wanted it to look really nice. So I have all the bolt heads facing out, including, now we're really gonna get dizzy here, including that one. So basically you have to use the open end of the wrench on the inside of the frame rail to hold it while you run the torque wrench. So the first one that I did was the one on the wall right there, and then you follow up with this one and work your way to the front. So that one, and then finally this guy's the last one. And so that's what I'm going to do over here. This one you have to drill 2 holes, so you start by just kind of snugging those two and making sure it's actually like pressed up against that rail, which you can't really see very good. There you go. So it's sitting real nice there. So then this is a transfer punch right here. It's got kind of a, maybe it'll focus, has kind of like a little point on it, and you can get a set of these in different diameters, and of course this one fits right here. It actually fits in there really nice. So, you know, it's like snug, so you just take it and you wrap it, and then it'll put a nice center mark right where you want. So I have a set of those. You can get them on Amazon. They're very nice to have. So instead of trying to center up a drill and prick punch and all that kind of mess, this is just a really nice way to do it. So I'm going to do that, and then this one, on the other side, there was a hole here for this guy, but there's no hole here, so that's the one you got to drill completely. So no problem. Just do those really quick. But that's how this works. And so here's like kind of a better shot of how all that works. These are the rear brackets. Again, square washers everywhere. I'll try and get like a flat angle so you can see it's straight, you know, so that's how it works. So I'm going to do this punch action now and get this last bracket mounted. Here's the long bars with those joints on the ends there. And so one's a left hand thread, one's a right hand thread. And you see that little turned mark, whereas that one doesn't have it. That line there, that's the left-handed thread from the instructions. So anyway, just turn those in and run the jam nuts all the way back, and that's really easy, but it took me a minute to figure out they were left-hand threads. That's why you read the instructions apparently, but it was just kind of funny. I'm sitting there trying to put it in there, and it was right-hand thread or left-hand thread the whole time, so kind of funny. I got the rod ends on now and mounted up under here. The basically it's the bolt and then a washer and these nice machine spacers that they have that actually fit. Let's see if I can turn this. They fit inside there. It's like, you notice how they have a taper like that fits right inside there, really nice. And then a washer and a nut. And so you can see like how gravity would definitely want that to sit more straight, but I can put it in any position and it just kind of stays there. So it does have like a fair amount of, you know, kind of, I would say stiction, or, you know, kind of resistance right now. So that's kind of nice. It doesn't seem like it'll wobble, or not wobble, but clank and make like, you know, metal sounds when you go over bumps and railroad tracks and stuff like that. So it's a nice like solid feel. So I don't know, just a nice unit. So anyway, so these are just kind of hanging here. Yeah, there they are. And they're going to land back here. So the instructions say bottom hole here and top hole in the front. That's where you're supposed to start. So we'll try that out, see how it goes, and anyway, go from there. But I'm going to lower it down now, and because this is something you wouldn't want to do now on the lift. But it looks like it would be, you know, pretty darn close, honestly. But, you know, subject to adjustment. So we're going to put it back down onto here, and then I'll get underneath there, and you know, basically this exact same way. I'm going to set this up with the spacers, those little machine pieces, and put that together. So, and then lock the jam nuts down. So that should be pretty much it, but we'll see in a minute for some finished product. I put this is the back end. Put that rod end in just like normal. It's not tightened yet, but I kind of want to load them up, so I just extended these, you know, because the bars work in compression here. So you lengthen them so that they basically take up any slop that's there, you know. And so I'm gonna quick run this nut down and get that all snugged up, and then you make these longer. So you'll see the threads, as you twist them one direction or the other, you'll see the threads either protruding or getting sucked back in. So you want to extend them and make the bar longer so that it adds just a little preload. So I'm going to tighten this up, extend them, get them set so that they feel equal, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so we're down to the final touches here. So basically, you know, as that rod, when you launch, it goes into compression and tries to pivot the axle backwards. You know, it's possible that this bolt would be basically in compression and that other one would be in tension, and it would try and wrap backwards, like pull this mount backwards and rotate this way. So what Stifflers said in their thing was that you could take a piece of stock, which this is just like a little piece of just like flat bar that was cut and then cut again, and then you take it in here and just kind of slide it in there so it's flush, and you can see kind of a weird angle against the round there. But basically, I'm going to clean the axle tube and then just put a big nice bead right across the top of here, and that should allow that, add as a physical stop to keep it from rotating, you know, so without actually, you know, welding it to the tubes. So in case you would ever swap out to a 9-inch or something, you could, I don't know why you would, but you could take this kit and sell it or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to try and clean that up. Honestly, it probably doesn't need to be cleaned up that much. It'll probably weld right through it, but I'll try and do that a little bit and get it prepped. Didn't have the perfect tool for the job here, but I took kind of a cone-shaped die grinder, actually. I was able to just clean that up enough right in the spot where we wanted it. So some nice fresh metal there. And so anyway, you take this, that'll slide back in there, and I will put some of my best booger weld on there. We'll see how it turns out. Not super critical, but should help. So I did the same thing over here. So if that pushes back in there, looking at something like that. So that's what I'm going to go for now and try it out. Alright, well, I broke out the hot stick here, little MIG action, and don't judge, don't hate. It's the first time I've welded in a minute, so, and even then, done it like only a handful of times for real. So there, ooh yeah, look at that. Well, anyway, this side turned out okay. Had a little rocky start there. We'll clean it up, spray paint it, grind it, whatever we'll do here. And then this one turned out a lot better here, I think. Kind of a big ass bead for a pretty small piece, but it's hard to get good, you know, penetration into the axle tube. So I was trying to lean as much as I could on the axle, but it was eroding. I could see in the actual puddle that it was actually taking some. So I don't know. Might have hurt it more than it helped it. I have no idea, but that's what happens when you're running with amateurs. So anyway, we'll clean it up and maybe hit it with a spritz of paint and call that a day. So anyway, kind of a nice little project, honestly. Turned out really good, I think, and like I said, I don't really know if it'll be a huge gainer as far as performance or anything, or whether that's really going to do a whole lot, but anyway, they're in, and they look cool, so that's half of it right there. So anyway, if you watched all the way through, thanks for watching. Hope it helps, and it's a nice product. Cool little deal. I got it on Black Friday, and it's not Black Friday anymore, so it sat on the shelf for a little minute before I actually put it in, but that's okay. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching.